Hey guys, just going to show you this 210 gallon oceanic reef tank I've got here. It's 7 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, so it's got a really long footprint to it. The reason I wanted to go with this tank was because of the big blonde naso tang there I got. He's about a foot long. I'm expecting him to get somewhere around 16 to 18 inches is what I see that they get to. The blue hippo there is about a 7-inch long blue hippo. The rest of my fish are relatively small. I did have a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot 120 reef tank that I upgraded from, and my naso there outgrew that. So the people that, you go to the store and, these fish stores will sell you whatever fish you want, and really don't really care about it. But so you guys know that these nasos do get really big in captivity, even though you read that online and stuff. That's, I've had this guy for a couple of years now, and you can see he's just a huge fish. He eats crazy. He won't stop eating. If he had his way, he'd eat all day long. I feed him every day, mainly to keep him healthy and not skinny or whatever, but he's just a huge fish. So is that the other blue hippo there. They're both really good sized fish. They're both very healthy. The corals I have in this tank mainly are LPS and softies. I do have a bird's nest, and I have a frag rock of monty caps back there. There are about 5 different ones on there. I just started doing a little bit of SPS. Never really been too big into it yet, mainly because I don't like checking my water. I do my water changes every week, about a 20% water change on this thing every week, and I do dose a little bit. I feed about every other day on the other stuff, maybe every 2 days or 3 days on the other stuff, but the big fish I feed every day. The anemones I have back there in the back, the bubble tips that my maroon gold dots host, was one big anemone that I had about a year ago, and he split in my old tank, and my maroons are a lot happier. If you guys have maroons in your tank, you know how mean they are, and how mean they are with other clownfish. But I have found that having 2 anemones, but they can rotate back and forth from, or they stick to their own, really helps with that. They don't seem to fight at all anymore unless I go to feed, but they do really good with 2 anemones in this thing. As you can see, all the corals are doing really well. I upgraded the lighting on this thing. The guy gave me a 6 foot compact with metal halides or whatever they are, and I did some research on it, and I saw that the ballast would catch fire and burn people's houses down, so I decided not to use those, and I bought the Chinese brand LED lights off of eBay for like 85 bucks a piece. So I've got a little over $300 in lights there, which isn't bad at all for the 7-foot tank. The one on the end here is actually different than the others. They were out of stock on the other, so I had to buy this was a Mars Aqua, which it looked to be identical in the picture, and it pretty much is the identical light. It's just a different casing and knobs on the back, but it still dims like the other ones do. It's the same wattage, 165 watt lights. Plenty enough to grow pretty much whatever you want to grow in these tanks here. These lights are extremely bright. I have them set on about 50% for the whites and about 65 to 70% on the blues. So they are very bright lights. But my coral really seem to love the change. I've had several coral in here within the last month or 2 months grow several new heads. On the frog spawn there, my zinnia's grown a couple of stalks off of it, and it's even crusting over to the rock that it's sitting next to. So everything is really loving these lights. Like I said, I don't really feed all that often, just mainly when I do my water changes. I'll feed after my water changes on the dose, the phytoplankton and stuff like that. And I'll feed the fish every couple of days besides the bigger ones. They get fed every day. The sump down here, the guy gave me a sump, but it was too small. This is a 60-gallon breeder that I turned into a sump. I've got a bubble Magus protein skimmer there. Pulls out some nasty crap out of this water. I recommend that protein skimmer to anybody. It's been a great protein skimmer. Running a couple of filter socks, about 60 pounds of live rock or the rock rubble in there, some CCAM matrix media and some carbon, and a DC controllable return pump. I believe the return pump was like 1,200 gallons per hour, and I have it set up all the way as fast as it'll, or pump as much water as it'll do. The power heads in this thing are the Jabo controllable wave makers. I believe those are the WP10s or WP25s or MP25s. I can't remember what the model number was, but they're like the third highest one you can get. They have like the 40s, which are a lot more powerful, but I didn't think I would need them. As you can see, they do make a nice little back and forth wave. Come down here and you can see these really good with the ones that move back and forth pretty good. You make a nice back and forth wave. Probably one of them would have been fine, but I wanted as much circulation as I could get in this tank. I do have two of the smaller ones in the back, just mainly for the water to be circulated through the back of the tank also. Like I said, I don't like vacuuming my sand bed or anything like that. I don't like disturbing the sand bed. I do have some what do you call those things? The conch snails or whatever they are, that go through the sand bed, and you can see that one right there. He's actually right there in the sand bed. The rest of it's all the turbo snails and all that will do most of the work, and the diamond goby does a good job also. All the corals are in really good shape in this thing. I'm actually going to start fragging some of this hammer coral. This one and that one there was all one big stock when I got it. It was probably a year and a half ago. A guy on Craigslist had it, and he had about 150 head hammer coral. I bought what I could. I've sold a big stock like that also and fragged it out several times. That one there still has about 35 heads on it, and that one there has about 20 heads on it. My hammer coral grows like crazy in this thing. The frog spawn looks like it's starting to take off really good too. So everything looks really good in this tank. I've got, in the tank itself, I've got 300 bucks. Like I said, I traded a used PlayStation 4 for this thing, which I bought used. So I've got 300 bucks in the tank, another little over 300 bucks in the lighting there. The stand I'm actually going to do some work on. That's why it's still kind of, well, it's really hard to see in the video anyway. I'm still trying to do some work on the front of it. I'm going to take that white color off and repaint the front of it and do some work towards the back of the tank also. But it is up and running. Been up and running for about 3 months now. I can actually kind of settle down now and not go so fast on having to get everything done. I will say that I had to add on to my house for this tank. You can see there, my living room was rather small. This is more of a bachelor type house. It was only 1,500 square foot to begin with, but my living room was smaller. The rest of the house was actually pretty big. So I added on this whole part up there, cut the logs out of the wall, just to add a fish tank pretty much. Girlfriend's a lot happier about that. But this 7-foot long tank did take up a lot of room, and it took about 6 guys to move this thing. It's about 500 to 600 pounds empty, which it was a beast to move. But everything's going good, and I'm happy with how it actually turned out. So if you guys have any questions or anything, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you guys. All right? Thanks.